What's going on, YouTube? You are on the lifeboat. This is Captain Calhoun speaking. I am in the process of setting up a different kind of stream here. We're going to talk about flow in dance and the power that it can have in recovery, the power it can have over your trauma, working through things. Allow me to open one more window, and I think we're ready to go here. Be right back. So, I know our thing is to connect, right? Connections, the deal here. So I am going to do a little bit of talking. Maybe a headset would do me really good here, which I don't have, but that's okay. I'm going to be doing some dancing, some flowing. We're going to do some stretching, and we're going to talk about it. Blake Anderson, David Clark, what's going on? Debbie Blair, Layla Bradley, Cindy G. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. Roseanne, hello, hello. Thanks for joining me today, guys. This was a spur of the moment. I definitely did not feel like painting today, but I knew I wanted to do something. So this is definitely not a novel experience for me. This is something I do all the time. So hopefully we can bring it into the lifeboat somehow, some way. Uncaged Canary, hello, hello. Good to see you guys. All right. So if you're feeling a little less than 100%, if you're struggling, if, I don't know, you're facing a unique challenge, whatever the case may be, if you're having a hard time in any way, shape, or form, moving, actual physical movement, as well as maybe slightly strenuous activity, right? Maybe breaking a sweat, is very, very good for not only your physical body and the reward system of our brains, which we talk about a lot, right? Which is most likely damaged if we're on this recovery thing, right? If we're an addict of some sort, our reward system is most likely damaged. So the ability to get up and just move around a little bit is something that is easily discounted. And on my recovery journey, this has been the single most impactful thing for me. Because when I'm struggling, which, I'm struggling more than I'm not struggling, especially in early recovery. I know that I come on here and I put on a good face, right? But I'm only human. And I tell you what, I am struggling more than I'm not. And when I'm struggling, this is the number one thing that helps me out the most. Because not only am I moving and getting my blood flowing, right? And getting my natural reward center working better, right, in my brain, but I'm also moving those emotions around, all that complicated crap that I don't really understand inside me or whatever, that just feels so intense, whether it be anger or betrayal or whatever. Insert any intense emotion here. If I'm doing movement, it's also going to move that stuff that I can't see, taste, touch, right? It's also going to process that stuff. And I don't know why that is. I just know that it is. It is fact. I know that if you give this a go, you're going to experience the same things that I do. And you don't have to do it in this weird, strange way that I'm about to do it, but you can. Now that I've swept up my floor, I think that we're going to do a little bit of stretching. Otherwise, I'm going to hurt myself because I'm getting older. And honestly, I focus mostly on my hips because a lot of what I'm doing is going to be hip related. And a lot of my weaknesses are hip related. Thanks for trying new things with me, folks. Oh, that is so bad, huh? It's not terrible for a first timer. I know stretching is pretty mundane, but we're going to go over some basics here. It takes about 30 seconds to fully stretch a muscle. So when you're sitting here and you're grabbing a foot or something, you're kind of feeling silly. You're like, all right, I've been here forever. Just breathe with it. And then maybe lean into it a little bit harder, right? The key here is not to hurt yourself. The key here is not to push yourself. The key is to just get a nice stretch. You should feel your muscles loosening up. And if you're struggling, like for me, I have a problem area right here on this side, on the outside especially. My sciatica over here is terrible. I will very nicely and easily lean more into it, right? Whatever I'm doing, I'm not being forceful. I'm just being nice and easy. It should be relaxing. And if I'm in, again, a problem area, I'm going to breathe and maybe I'll consciously think, all right, I'm letting that muscle go. I'm letting go of the tension in this specific area of my body. And sometimes that helps. But breathing and not talking definitely helps. If you're doing stretches like this where you have your legs splayed, the only thing that really matters is that your back is straight. You don't need to go all the way to the ground. If your back is straight and you're pushing forward with your hips, it's going to stretch this whole area, all right? Probably it can all the way down here. I'm feeling this in the sides of my knees because my back and my legs are so tight, right? But we're only doing this so that we're not, so that we're loose, right? So that we're warmed up and ready. Another one that I really like to do is the butterfly. One, because I'm terrible at it and I have no flexibility in my hips. And two, because I used to do this in karate when I was like 11, which is kind of fun. It's nice and nostalgic. But what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of pressing gently down on my knees and keeping my feet together. It is hot in here. I just, a bookcase showed up today. Shout out to whoever sent me a bookcase. You're wonderful. I didn't think it was possible for them to actually deliver me a bookcase. When I say them, I mean whoever does the mail around here. It's pretty sucky, but that's why I'm so hot. That's why it's sweaty in here, and that's also why I'm late. Another thing I like to do for my hips is this, the little horse stance. Kind of push out a little bit with my arms, just a bit. Just a bit. I don't want to stretch too much. That's not exciting. I'm going to do one more on both sides, and then we're going to play. I'll show you what we're doing here. Maybe I can get some more light in here as well. I know my head is dark, and my lower half is not, which is kind of strange. Kathy Ann, Cindy G, Tommy Bird. What's going on, y'all? Tommy Bird says, I struggle with movement these days. Most certainly, because I'm getting old. Well, you and me both, man. You and me both. That is one thing none of us are going to be able to escape. Is time and age. All right, so the tools that I'm going to be using today, that's even worse, are not my usual. They're not my preferred tools, but my preferred tools are in, maybe I do want this one. My preferred tools are in Utah. Well, that ain't bad, although my face is still, I guess we'll just look right into this bright light. It's going to be so exciting. All right. My face is not very visible, but we're going to deal with it. I guess we'll come to the chucks second. Usually, my preferred flow toy is what we like to call them. Flow prop is a staff. Now, this is a mini staff. This is about half the size, maybe even less than that, of the full-size staff I normally use. So it's not going to be perfect, but the idea, no matter what we're doing, obviously you're not going to start off doing contact stuff like that, but the idea is to just kind of spin it around, have some fun, get into a flow state. That's what we're going to call it. Whatever we're doing, we want to stop thinking about whatever's on our mind, right? We just want to kind of dial into this present moment and kind of play with something, whether it's a stick, nunchucks, a hula hoop, right? There's all kinds of stuff. They make fans. There's all sorts of stuff you can mess around with. They make stuff on strings. But I'm just going to kind of play with this thing. And then I don't have to be in my head, right? That's the first benefit is I'm here in movement and not in emotion, right? Not in my head. And obviously, this is a skill that I've honed over a very long period of time. I play with sticks and balls and weird circus crap literally every day. So, you're not gonna, it's not about what you're, it's not about, it's about the movement purely. Oh, it's purely about the movement. And there's plenty of creators online. Ooh, look at that one. There's plenty of creators online that have like tutorials and will teach moves and stuff. And I've thought about doing my own little series on that. So maybe I will join them in having tutorial series on different props and what to do. Oh, that did not work how I wanted it to. But yeah, I've been doing this for like 7 years or something like that. I mean, usually when you're doing the small sticks, you're doing 2 of them, but I'm not very good at it. Not very good at it. So I've been practicing with 1. But my friends that are good at double stabs can do all kinds of crazy stuff with both hands at once. I'm not that guy. I'm definitely not that guy. Although sometimes I like to do this one. Which is a little weird, but yeah. I'm literally in here doing this for hours, guys. It's ridiculous, but I always feel better afterwards, and not just from physical activity, right? Just not just getting my endorphins going, but this is moving emotions around. This is, I don't know, alchemy. This is some weird stuff that we can't taste, smell, see, touch, or feel, right? It's just some life hack for you, for sure. Dude, the tri-staff, Dale, is pretty wild. I've wanted to get one for the longest time, but they're very, very intimidating. That's one of those toys you beat yourself up learning. Barbara Aldrich says, do you have any idea how much damage I could do if I tried that in my house? When we were learning nunchucks, my tribe had a property where about 90% of the tribe lived together. Me and Hannah did not live there, but pretty much everyone else did. And we called it the Fire Shire. And we would, when we were over there, everyone was there. We would throw nunchucks in the house, and we had a fish tank, and it was a pretty nice place. We had lots of nice stuff in there. But somehow we never broke the fish tank. Somehow we made it work. But I have to say, the nunchucks, out of all the toys that I play with, it's definitely the scariest, but the most rewarding and exciting. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I caught that. I've been practicing that throw for days and I haven't caught it once. Wow, all right, not too bad. Now, mind you, usually these are on fire. That's what these, which camera are we using right now? Is it this one? I guess so. These are Kevlar wicks. So usually when this is going on, there's fire on my hands and it's really, really hot. It's mad uncomfortable. JCC, what's going on? Feeling ready for a nap, huh? I'm fixing to get in the napping mood myself by exercising just a bit. All right, give me a moment. We're going to set something else up. Is my audio and video all right, by the way? I have bopped myself. I have bopped myself so many times with the nunchucks. It's been a very painful pursuit, but it definitely paid off. They're much more difficult to manipulate on fire, Tommy Bird, I have to say. It looks decent, not on fire right now, but I'll tell you a story. When literally every time we ever had a nunchuck piece, like a whole like a production, like this section of our production is nunchucks. We're all throwing nunchucks at each other or whatever. Every single time we do something like that, it's like the saying, the best laid plans are only as good as the word go, or something like that, basically saying that something's always going to go wrong in your plan, right? Something's always going to, you're going to have to improvise no matter what. It is especially the case with nunchucks. Literally every time something, like we either put too much fuel on them, everyone's melting their hands, the show must go on. It's definitely one of the most ridiculous props that we have decided to incorporate. I'm trying to pull up something inspiring for myself so that I can dance more. More better, mo better. You know, mo better. My eldest used to shove his play nunchucks into the back of his shirt to pretend to be a Ninja Turtle. Me and my cousin used to love Ninja Turtles. I mean, I guess the love never went away. But it was a lot cooler to love them when we were young. Thanks for bearing with me here. I've signed in to SoundCloud twice now, and it's just it's not working great. Son of a gun. Guess we'll just pick one of these. You know, I probably have multiple accounts on all these different platforms from times being confused. I'm gonna have to remember what I'm supposed to log in with another time. Maybe this won't suck and it'll make me want to dance. We can only hope. I tell you what, I really wish I had my staff or my dragon staff, because that's what I really enjoy. Or my sword, all of which are not here. Oh my gosh. I want. Oh, this one's weighted differently. Son of a gun. Well, I guess that's not happening today. And that's what I mean by these are not my preferred tools. I'm going to drop them a lot. I'm still here, right? I don't think I have enough room for this. I have enough room for this. Did that sound register? Did you hear that? Probably don't want to like break my window though. I used to play with these a lot. I haven't in a very long time. This one doesn't have a core, so I can't do a lot with it, but it's so small that we can use it with other toys. It's hard to use a flaming whip that's 10 feet long among other people because you have at least a 15-foot radius around you that's just dangerous to be around if you're not the whipster. But I never got into more than just cracking it. But there are all kinds of tricks like I'm just going to hurt myself doing it, but maybe I can do it. Just kidding. I'm embarrassing myself with this one, but it's all right. And afterwards, I will often take many breaks while doing something like this because it is, it's a lot of exertion. So I'll end up sitting down, taking a break, getting back into it, coming in and out of flow, listening to music, right? Whatever the case may be. But at the end, make sure to relax because, you just kind of want hard a little bit. You were dancing and whatnot. I make sure to sit down and have some time to transition between activities. Now, this has wild amounts of benefits. I highly recommend you find some sort of activity or behavior pattern that you can flow in, right? Whether that's crocheting, doing laundry, right? I can come to a flow state in the shower washing myself, right? If you can find some sort of activity or behavior or hobby that you can flow in. What I mean by flow is like kind of get into like a rhythm, right? Kind of get into a rhythm with, that's the magic part. And no matter what it is, it doesn't have to be some silly stick twirling or throwing nunchucks, right? That's just what I like to do because I'm a weirdo and I like it. That's what I'm into. But if you can, like, again, do this with many, many different things, if you can get into that rhythm, that flow, that's what's going to bring the benefits, right? Because that'll enable you to process things subconsciously. That'll enable you to move those emotions around powerfully inside yourself. The benefits are wild. And in fact, I probably should have a conversation with some friends of mine and then come next before we do something like this again, because then I'll have better things to say. Because often I don't have the words to describe the benefits that this affords me, but my friends totally do. So anyways, I don't think we're going to go much longer than this, folks. Please hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications. It does a lot for us. And make sure to check out the Admiral. He'll be on later tonight, I think. Maybe not. He might take the night off. I told him to take the night off. So maybe he'll go ahead and do so. That being said, this has been one strange episode of the Lifeboat with Captain Calhoun. Thanks for being here, guys. One of these days, we'll get an actual legit fire jam on here. We'll stream it, and if it's not on here, it'll be on my channel. I think we're gonna just roll out my Calhoun corner or whatever we'll call it next year, at the turn of the year. But I have enough cameras and drones and things. I could literally, on one of these trips when I have extra time, I could set up a bunch of cameras, and we could have like a big old fire jam. You know, well, just the same kind of fire jams we always have, except with cameras, right? So I don't think that that's necessarily a bad idea. I definitely think that it's in our future, but just not right now. Yeah, go check out Chase the Heat in 20 minutes, says Kristen Melinda. Thank you for that. January 1st, Calhoun's Corner, maybe. I'm not making an official announcement for a date, but 100% possibility of January 1st. I'll try and get an official announcement together before Christmas comes around. So, like, in the next week and a half, I'd like to have a solid plan on that, right? It's definitely not my priority. The lifeboat's my priority. So Calhoun's Corner is just fun stuff. It's just stuff to fart around with, right? Thank you, Kristen. You are tremendous. Flick says, if only we could talk to you out loud while you're doing your thing. I would really dig that. I tell you what, that would be a better format for something like this. Like, doing the live stream like this is definitely suboptimal, I think, for what this is. But I wanted to try it to see how it felt. We have learned a lot. So that being said, this has been The Lifeboat with Captain Calhoun. Enjoy the rest of your day, and give my uncle a shout out when you see him, all right? Much love, everyone. Bye-bye.